They start to doubt this whole world of security justifications, security needs.
Yes.
This is where Breaking the Silence comes in.
Okay, so this is where Breaking the Silence comes in. So you started off with this one exhibition bringing Hebron into Tel Aviv.
With thousands of people, tens of thousands of people arriving.
Okay. How did it go on from there?
It was amazing. No one expected. We thought it's gonna be like a small thing, couple of weeks. Friends from the youth movements, and friends from the civil service, and it turned out to be huge. Thousands of people. And until at a certain point we understood that it's not enough. We cannot keep on taking people to tours in Hebron in a gallery in Tel Aviv. We need to take people to Hebron.
Mm.
People need to cross checkpoints. Those people from Tel Aviv or Jerusalem have to cross checkpoints. They have to go there when someone's aiming the gun at them. They have to go and see the shut down stores and the closed houses and the evicted areas. They have to meet Palestinians. They have to meet the same people we occupy to hear their stories. It's not enough to hear my side of the story. They have to listen to the Palestinians too.
Mm.
So we came up with the tours. And we started to conduct tours to the West Bank, to the villages, to the cities. And we today take people on tours to the same places where we served as combatants. But our biggest project was and still is interviewing the soldiers, hearing their stories and pushing their stories, well, practically anywhere. To Israeli youth before they joined the military, to students, to the media. This is why we make these booklets, which you're more than welcome to take. Because we want people to hear what's really happening there. We want people not only to hear what's really happening there, we want them to hear it from a reliable source that they consider as reliable, which is us, the combatants.
Tell me a bit more about these interviews. How do you do it? I mean, do people work with you? Do most soldiers want to talk about this? I mean, do most soldiers come out of the military feeling like you do, that there is something that must be told here, that there's a reality that does not come through, that the reality of the occupation does not come through?
Okay, the vast majority of the soldiers don't want to talk about it, never gave a minute of thought for it. Shut down their eyes, close their ears, don't want to think about it. And now, shut up. And now they don't want to talk about it. They just want to go to India, get stoned. They want to forget about the whole thing. That's the vast majority of the soldiers. There is a very small minority of people who actually gave thought to what they're doing while they were doing it. And from that very small group of soldiers, there are a few who actually will agree to talk to us. For the past years, we've been marked more and more as an extreme, radical left-wing activist. So people are starting to be afraid to talk to us. Well, these guys are crazy, they're anti-Zionist, they want to, whatever my family says. Mm. And people are afraid to give their testimonies. This is why we keep all the testimonies anonymous. All names are censored. We don't want people to discover their identity. We just want the Israeli society to hear their stories. We also don't want the military police to arrest those people,
yes, which
happened in 2004. But there is a very small minority of people who will agree to talk to us. From 2004 till today, we've interviewed a bit over 700 soldiers. Now think about it. We're talking about six years, a couple of tens of thousands of people finishing their service. We're talking a couple of hundreds of thousands of people since 2004. We managed to interview around 700, which is a lot, because each soldier tells about 3 years of service. Mm. Each combatant was posted all over the West Bank, just like I was posted all over the West Bank. Yes. Not all people want to talk. The funny thing is that many soldiers think that they have nothing interesting to say.
Yes. These are just...
till they start actually listening to themselves.
Okay, and then you just post them in these little booklets?
Not at all, not at all. It goes through a very, very long process of verification. We don't take the stories as true or accurate, not because we think people are liars, or just because but I know, I served for 3 years, it's really hard to remember all details, and sometimes people, you know, forget details, sometimes people put themselves not exactly in the positions they were inside the incident. So each testimonies goes through a very long process of verification. We cross testimonies, we open the maps, we check out things, we make sure the details are at the right spot, and only then, after we're sure, 100% sure, that the testimony is real, we will publish it, or actually use it, or read it in front of a crowd, or post it on YouTube, or you're more than welcome to our YouTube channel, Shovrim.
Okay. And what else? How is the organization built nowadays? What are the different things you do?
So the major things we do today is the testimonies, interviewing the soldiers, translating the testimonies, verifying you know, making sure the whole thing is real. Second biggest project is the project I'm in charge of, which is the educational project, which is getting to more and more Israeli crowds and international crowds, showing our movies, reading our testimonies, not only the 700 soldiers, testimonies, movies, taking people to tours. In 2009, we took over 8,500 people on tours and lectures.
Mm-hmm.
That's the project I'm in charge of. Getting to new soldiers who are willing to guide tours or give their testimonies in front of crowds. And the third project is media, pushing the testimonies to the media and the videos to the media. You might have heard of us when we published the booklet about the soldiers' testimonies from Operation Cast Lead in Gaza in January 2009, which caused a lot of mess here in Israel. Yes. Because again, there was a huge gap between what the Israeli public thought that happened there and what actually happened there from the soldiers themselves.
Yes. Okay, so that's the second project. You have a project of now a new project.
Yeah, we also started. It's very recent. We've only started it. It's a new project of working with female combatants, mostly border police officers, soldiers, females who served the West Bank as combatants. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to read the testimonies. It's very different from what we've known. Getting this perspective on the reality in the West Bank is amazingly different. We were all very surprised to hearing the first testimonies. It's very new. The booklet was just published. Female combatant testimonies from the West Bank, mostly from Hebron.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a movie that was produced on the same testimonies. It's called To See If I'm Smiling. Again, you're welcome to ask for copies. It's an hour-long movie with the testimonies of those ex-combatants, female combatants, which again have an amazingly different perspective from our perspective on whatever we did there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, earlier on you said that Breaking the Silence is perceived as a radical left-wing organization. On face value, it doesn't seem like it has to be. You try to publish what is happening from the point of view of soldiers. Why do you think that is understood, first of all, as radical? No, first of all, as left-wing in general, and then as radical.